Incoming message.
It was the dawn of the third age of mankind. Groovy.
Hi-ho. This is me, Kermit the Frog.
Hello there.
Moopsy.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Not a great plan.
Program complete. Enter when ready.
Let's see what's out there. Engage.
Different roads, same old spark. Talking Trek till the streetlights spark. We're those sci-fi guys riding warp speed waves. Mack and DT cannon lighting up the airwaves. Blasters of books, we're geek to the core. Laughing through the lore on those sci-fi guys.
And that is correct. We are those sci-fi guys. This is at the Sci-Fi Guys Show. Just two working dudes, different lives, different jobs, and a whole lot of love for science fiction and the fun that comes with. We are your hosts. I am P.S. McKay. And, well, let me just say I'm glad I'm not Alex Kurtzman today. How you doing,
I'm DT Cav man, and I'd take his bank account.
Yeah. I want to go into the fallout of Starfleet Academy. The first two episodes have currently aired. We last week reviewed we previewed what was coming to us. And everything. And we're not going to focus completely on Starfleet Academy here. Everyone else is already talking about it, but we've got an opportunity just to put our 2 cents in a couple things. DT, though, you had an eventful Sunday.
I did.
And it shows today.
No,
audibly.
No, I've basically been battling some sort of respiratory shit since a little before New Year's. So it takes,
damn.
So it led, you get 3 weeks of coughing going. My throat was pretty raw. I had no voice. I went to the game, but I wasn't yelling.
You didn't, you weren't able to. I got you.
I had less voice than this. It was, the strain came from just trying to talk to people next to me.
Right. I got you. Well, you attended the Pats Texans game.
Yes, I did.
It looked cold.
It was not as cold as I was expecting back then.
Well, that's good.
I dressed quite I dressed well for it.
It's one of those things where you have to put on long johns for it, isn't it?
I did have long. I had the synthetic silk undershirt.
Yeah.
Military issue. Military issue boots, but I actually got a lot of my training on preparing for cold weather from going to those Pats games in high school and college.
And they were some cold ones, man. They were some cold ones.
I had some ski pants that I used for snow blowing and stuff that were fleece lined and, Gore-Tex outside, so and it was kind of more misty and flurries until the game basically ended. That's when the snow came down.
That's when the snow came.
After being gone since like 12:30, I had to snow blow the driveway at 9 o'clock that night.
Oh.
And then 8 a.m. the next morning.
Yeah, because that's what you have to do when you live in a snow-rich environment, or not that rich. But I will say,
you got enough.
Go ahead. You get enough, yes.
You got enough, yeah.
Well, I'm glad the game worked out well. I'm glad you got to enjoy the time. It is fun to see my New England people happy again, because by and large, their default setting is miserable. So it's nice to see them be able to have something external, get them out. It was a
what you still
long
need to
7
understand,
years.
Well, yeah, little blips like the Mac Jones rookie year was good. It was good.
Yeah.
This year has been fantastic. Okay. The joy of having Drake and Michael May here in New England and fully immersing into the populace and the environment really is big. Like she was the biggest thing on the internet over the holidays.
Oh, Drake May's wife.
The Queen of New England, the Queen of the
Yeah.
North is what they've been dubbing
My,
her. She
my
did
wife
this
came.
video series, The Bakeness. So she was doing, all these little baking challenges. She's an adorable person. She seems very sweet. She went out with Portnoy and did a pizza review. She's got her own cooking show, but it's all very wholesome.
I am aware of her online presence. My wife even was like, have you seen his wife online? I'm like, yeah, and she's the absolute epitome of adorable.
Exactly.
You already used the word, but that's literally what I said to my wife.
Yeah, and it's nice because it's all wholesome. She organized like a cookie swap with a bunch of Pat's wives and girlfriends, right?
Oh, how cute.
She's doing like, there's this restaurant that she and Portnoy basically resurrected, out in Needham. So, I mean, doing that little visit to this little hole in the wall that had, some decent pizza, and they've been getting slammed. Apparently, like the owners were really struggling because they had like severe flood damage or water damage to their home.
Yes, Portnoy does that.
Yeah,
he does. That's what I find very wholesome about Portnoy. Like he finds those mom and pop shops that it's fun that he was able to get the Queen of New England in. And
she got him on to do the baking, so it does no bad thing for his image to be seen with someone so wholesome, but it's also good, expands exposures. She's been cooking with former Patriots players lately, so but these are the things that give a little life for those people who aren't American football fans or New England Patriot fans or whatever. It's what's been nice is that there's been some wholesome stuff about your sports team. Sure, there's plenty of, there's enough in sports with the money and the rivalries and the, sometimes your favorite players turn out to be dirt bags, that sort of thing. It sucks.
Way too more than you want. That's for sure.
Right. And they're not role models per se. They're professional athletes. But it is kind of nice when you get some wholesome stuff. Like Drake May seems like a pretty wholesome kid.
Kid. I mean, he's a kid.
He's 23. I'm 45. What do you want from me?
It doesn't feel right that we should call a quarterback a kid, but you are correct. I
mean, true. He's a grown man who's kicking ass, but the fact of the matter is, there's some when you could go and down the deep dark dive, the sports world to get a little, sunshine there. It's nice. Basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Since I've been sick since New Year's, it's been nice to have something that keeps your spirits up. So
that's also true.
And I've also looked forward to some of the other things. I do want to shift gears for a quick second before we get into Starfleet Academy, because I know you are, to say you're displeased would be underselling. But I've got something to show you.
Okay.
Reinforce your love of Star Trek.
Let's take a look. The Women of Trek.
Yep.
Open a channel. Nice. Oh,
This
and then
is
Michael's there.
Nana Visitor's book.
And Ortegas is there. Oh. Everyone else is fine. But this is a non-visitor's book.
Yeah, she went and this was a big project that she did. She undertook and like met with so many of these actors or these actresses. You know, this is and look at this. This is one of those big coffee table books that we used to get.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Looks like my Marvel Ultimate Guidebook.
Oh yeah, dude. This is awesome. Look, you got everybody from, from Janice Rand and Michelle, you got Uhura, Tasha Yar, you know.
Uhura should be right up front and center, I think.
She should, but it's Nana's book. So
I know.
Doing,
Well, at least have her second behind her right there, but yeah, okay.
So,
yeah.
But like basically the back of it says, when Nichelle Nichols was cast as Lieutenant Uhura, she took women and people of color into a new imagined future. But it was 1966, and Star Trek producers had her do it in a miniskirt. Since then, each Star Trek show has both reflected the values of its time and imagined a more equitable future. The Now Visitor, Star Trek's Kira Nerys explores how the series has portrayed and influenced women over the last 55 years. Along the way, she interviews fellow cast members, writers, producers, celebrity fans who are inspired by Trek, including Stacey Abrams and astronaut Samantha Cristoforetti. While she uncovers, what she uncovers reveals not only how Star Trek changed, but how Hollywood and society has grown as women have taken on more and more prominent roles. As she discovers, we've come a long way, but the journey's far from over. Now, very excited to dive into this. This was an anniversary gift.
Nice.
So, yeah. Yep. And DC Fontana's got her own section in here, too. I saw.
She better.
Hell yeah.
She better. Good Lord. And what about Jerry Taylor?
I think so, too.
She was an integral to Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
Yep.
So,
yes, but that was an anniversary gift.
Well, good.
So,
yeah.
Yeah,
All right, we already switched gears.
I was very much looking forward to that. So
good. Well, let me know how that is. If we shall get into it.
Briefly.
Yeah, briefly. So I didn't watch it, but I've seen enough clips of the show to get a very good glimpse of Starfleet Academy. I wanted to know what your genuine, honest thoughts are on this.
I didn't hate it.
Now, why didn't you hate it? What did you find enjoyable about it that made you not hate it?
There's a few characters who I'm very curious about. Holly Hunter is a fantastic actress. Her character she's quirky. I kind of like her, but I'm not 100% there on her yet. But there's something there, because she's, in addition to being a principal Starfleet officer, she also has in her the heart of a teacher, which is why she eventually was asked to become Chancellor of Starfleet Academy, right? One of the characters who I'm most interested about is Jaden Cragg.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. First of all, worst Klingon name ever.
We'll have to, I'm sure we'll learn more about it. But I'm curious. Apparently, he spent a lot of time with Michael Dorn, watching a lot of Worf episodes, trying to sink his teeth into the role. But the character is a Klingon whose goal is medicine. And I'll tell you, in various expanded universe and literature and whatnot, there's been the occasional Klingon character who does not fit the standard mold, right? And that's
Yeah.
okay. You know, you have the scientist from Suspicions,
The Klingon,
engineer.
yes, and the Klingons doctor from the Edict epidemic, which was a book taking place during the original series. I don't think you read that. We talked
No,
about
but
it years ago.
But there was a Klingon doctor in, you know, in all the post like TNG, Deep Space Nine, like as the TV shows ended and the books really kind of took over and they were doing like continuation series before we started making new Trek again. They had a Klingon spinoff following a bunch of guest characters from Deep Space Nine and the Next Generation who all end up on the same Klingon ship. And then their doctor was somebody who was mentored by Beverly Crusher in an exchange program who was actually proactive about Klingon medicine. So it is not unheard of.
No.
And I think there's room for it. You know, you even meet Archer's Klingon in Enterprise, his Klingon attorney when he's charged with treason and gets sent to Repente 100 years before Kirk does in an episode.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
His lawyer was J.G. Hertzler.
That's right. Yeah.
Who was a man who was kind of crushed under the weight of, you know, not being a warrior and then also being a lawyer in Klingon society, and originally was giving like a half-assed defense before he finally Archer kind of brings him around. Up. Yeah. And then you also have later the Klingon scientist who was kind of helped, you know, was facilitated Phlox's kidnapping during the whole Augment Klingon arc there. But he was a guy who was also trying to get into, you know, legitimize science for the Klingons. So again, they're still kind of on the fringe of society.
Yes.
But we haven't gotten much into this kid yet, but there's potential. So I'm trying to find stuff to look forward to. You know, there's enough quirky things in it that I struggle with. Robert Picardo is his sarcastic best in this. Definitely very sarcastic.
Oh yeah.
waiting to see him delve a little more, but quite sarcastic.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is, hold on. I don't want to remove you. Sorry. What you're saying is jury's still out. You think there's some redeeming parts to this, and you want to see where it goes.
I do. You know, I have some skeptical, you know, I have some thoughts where I'm a little concerned about things. Paul Giamatti is full scene chewing, hammy, over the top villain, which
like an origami chicken.
Yeah, that was a line.
That was a line.
I'm gonna say I kind of like him when he's this hammy.
Giamatti does not deserve to be in this series. He's too good for this series.
I do think he's faking some of his Star Trek cred, though. When I've seen some interviews, there's a few glitches. I'm not saying he doesn't like Star Trek, but I think he's trying too hard.
They're all trying really hard right now to sell this. And okay, a couple things on this. Number one, I'm pretty sure this is going to be Star Trek's Acolyte moment right here.
It could
this
be.
thing is universally panned. Like the I'm going to show you this real fast. Okay. So, showing the screen here, Paramount decided to share the first episode, or maybe the first full episode of Starfleet Academy on YouTube for free. You know, first taste is free, kids, and then maybe you'll join in. This is 6 days ago, pretty much a week ago. Like day 7 will roll at midnight. It currently has 199,000 views in 6 days, which is nothing. That is nothing. And what really stole the show was this guy right here. Gary from Nerdrotic set up a live stream of Spock sitting in his chair, and this got more views live than the Starfleet Academy live premiere on YouTube. Like, and I think it has more views in total at over 200,000, whereas we just saw 199,000 for Starfleet Academy.
The ability of some people, like the level of petty that some people are able to go to, occasionally impress me.
I don't see this as petty. I think they're just making a point.
I know.
And
I'm not saying I'm not, but it's a little petty.
It worked. It worked exceptionally well to make a point. I honestly think that this is the Acolyte moment. Like Lucasfilm has come out many times and never actually said this particular project here or this particular project there has been canceled. As far as we know, the Rian Johnson trilogy still happening. The D.B. Benioff and Weiss trilogy still happening. You know, the Patty Jenkins Starfighter thing or whatever it is, still Rogue Squadron or whatever. I don't know what it was. Still supposedly happening. We know none of those are happening, but they never said it's not happening. They literally had to come out once the Acolyte season 1 was done and say, yeah, we're not renewing Acolytes for another season, because it was that toxic and that badly received. And this I'm seeing the same thing for Starfleet Academy as I saw with the Acolyte. And, I could go into a few things. The dialogue is awful. I don't like the current Gen Z language that they use, when in reality, language should be timeless in the Star Trek realm. They have people in wheelchairs in Starfleet Academy. Like, first of all, let's just say that's an interesting 4F issue. But number 2, we saw Worf literally have his spinal cord regrown, and he regained all of his nerve functions to be able to walk again 1,000 years prior.
Well, I like I said, I'm noting some discrepancies. Okay, I'm not saying I'm not turning a blind eye to it. Okay,
they said they were being attacked from the rear, and they and Ake whatever said put shields full shields forward, and then they were there was something to the starboard. They said, oh, I'm reading something off to the port. And Captain, tactical helm controls are inoperative. And then she immediately belts out, take evasive maneuvers. It's like, but it's like they don't even know what they're saying. They're just pulling things off of a wall of things that happen said in Star Trek to make it sound like Star Trek, but they don't know what that means. Like, those phrases that you put on a refrigerator that you just randomly make up, and
you keep using that term. I don't think you know what that means.
Exactly. I have a feeling. Okay, so rumor has it, and we're going to move on in 5 minutes, I promise. because I really do want
Less.
to talk about our subject for tonight.
Yep.
Thank you for forcing me to watch it. That being said, Kurtzman is rumored to be going into a last-minute meeting that was called over the weekend tomorrow with the Paramount bigwigs. There is a reason why they released this show on YouTube and they allowed the comments to still be there. They could have disabled the comments, but they didn't.
Oh, you're saying it's a trap?
Yeah, I think so. And in all honesty, I'm thinking that the best thing that they need to do, that Paramount needs to do right now, is they need to cancel this mid-season. Like, I mean, let the people who are going to shriek. They're going to shriek no matter what. They're always the loudest, but they're never the ones that actually care for the substance. But Paramount needs to come in and say, this is crap. We need to make an example of this. You've already been paid. We're pulling this now. And you're not going to be able to, we're not doing this crap. I mean, honestly, the blowback has been insane.
Speaking of pretty big game for somebody who didn't watch a single second.
No, I did. I saw a bunch of clips. I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to give it credit. I'm not going to have it count.
I know. One of us had to.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been. Did you really want to do like a whole season of reviewing these things and me just being absolutely miserable, yelling all the time, which I only do like 65% of the time now. So
60% of the time, he does it every time.
My point is, I think this is the end, and Star Trek needs to just. Unfortunately, this had to happen on the 60th anniversary. They did this on purpose. Kurtzman doesn't like the Ellises that now own Paramount. He's doing this to he hates the fans that have been giving him pushback. He intentionally did not renew Terry Metalis' contract because the fans responded to Terry Metalis. He intentionally said, yeah, we can consider Star Trek Legacy. And then he intentionally did not consider Star Trek Legacy.
Well,
those are all decisions.
We all know that, there's a lot of douchebags out there.
So, but
Kurtzman's just not that good.
Let me be clear. This is what happens when you turn on the fans. This is what happens to the properties where people who are in charge of these properties don't like these properties. And they try to turn it into something that puts their name on it, that puts their rubber stamp on it. And then they tell the fans, no, you're wrong for not liking this thing that you loved, that I changed completely. Or I executed it terribly. What, cut?
Wind it down. 2 minutes.
I'm just saying. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets pulled. I don't think it will, but it would be pretty awesome if Paramount made the statement, okay, we're cutting this after episode 5. We're done. Like, and
TV show they already renewed for season 2.
Well, they already shot it. They already shot it, so they've fulfilled their obligation of having paid Kurtzman for all this stuff. So, I mean, just because they shot it doesn't mean they have to air it and cause even more damage and more grumbling amongst the fans. I mean, there's no one's watching it. It's just we saw in very clear terms, no one's watching this. And I have on good authority that apparently Strange New Worlds gets in the tens of thousands of views on Paramount Plus. Tens of thousands. Oh, and Starfleet Academy is no longer in the top 10 on Paramount Plus. They were in the top 10. They never made number 1. They got as high as number 4. Then they dropped to number 6, and then on day 4, they're out of the top 10. I literally
we're
had to do a
competing
search.
with Landman.
Well, they're two completely different things, and Landman is doing it
Billy
right.
Bob Thornton.
Landman's doing it right. I don't know if you saw, they did a scene transition in one of the episodes recently, and, well.
There were some lens flares.
So, we'll see. Only time will tell. I will say that ultimately, in 50 years, people will still be talking about Star Trek, the original series, all the way through Enterprise. In 50 years, they will not be talking about the Kurtzman era.
Probably not.
So, anyway, so that's that there. I'm going to add this to the stage.
The problem is in 50 years, the Star Trek fans will be us in our 90s.
Yes, but that'll be the thing that keeps us alive and still going. Oh,
all right.
Let's see. Yeah.
You're out of time. Move along.
I am. Oh, and by the way, how does a cadet swallow a comm badge?
Yeah, that wasn't funny.
Like, what the frack, dude? What the frack? Here we go. Now let's talk about some good entertainment.
This was the shit.
So what are we here to talk about today, DT?
Well, the main crux of it is the latest World of Ice and Fire spinoff. The prequel known as A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, based on the novellas of Dunc and Egg, which these take place about 90-ish years before Game of Thrones. And so this is between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. It covers that interim years. The dragons are gone. The Targaryens are still in power. But when you watch, this is more, this is
very small
scale.
Yeah.
This is more small folk. These are more real people. Sure, there's Targaryens. There's Targaryens who are main characters. And, you know, famous names like Baratheons and others. But this follows a hedge knight. Sir
What is
Duncan
a hedge
Tall.
knight, one might ask?
A hedge knight is a very poor knight who's always looking for something to, you know, somebody to serve, tourneys to fight in. But basically they're a hedge knight because they're relatively hand to mouth and they sleep under hedges. They're not landed knights. They're not household knights. But they search and they're more than sell swords.
Yes.
They offer they're supposed to offer their services to lords and whatnot who in need. They're still knights, and so their mission is they're supposed to defend the innocent and the weak. This follows a very naive, young, but big hedge knight, Sir Duncan the Tall.
I
this
named
follows
this episode Sir Dunks with a Cruller.
Yes. So this follows the first novella in the Dunc and Egg series, The Hedge Knight. And it basically shows how, you know, the story is about how Dunc kind of, you start to learn who he is. And, you know, you start to see his background and what a hedge knight really is. They don't really talk about it much in the main series and whatnot, but this is where you sink your teeth into it.
This was all introduction. We didn't have a lot that we needed to set up in the world. We just needed to set the stage for the characters, which was done really quickly and efficiently, I gotta say.
First Game of Thrones show to truly use flashbacks as a storytelling device, not visions or, you know, the three-eyed raven and his ability to see, you know, green seeing, actual flashbacks.
Yeah.
Done very well, very quick, almost Family Guy quick, but like
It was
super quick. Flash.
I
snap
did have
cuts.
that. I did have that impression. I'm like, wow, it feels like cutscenes that Family Guy uses to make a point and tell a story real fast visually. But this was done well. Number one, the funny part was they did it for comedic effect here too, which
Yes.
was definitely a departure from what you would expect from Game of Thrones.
Yes, but if you read the novellas, there is a substantial amount of, I would say, some lightness, some humor. Dunc himself, in some ways, is kind of a funny character, mostly because of the positions he finds himself in.
He really is, like, you can see that he's
a big-hearted
almost Forrest
lug.
Gump.
More like Rob Gronkowski.
Well, I don't mean intellectually, or I'm just saying
No,
he rides the river of life like Forrest Gump
Yes.
does, and
yes, he does have the same kind of strong moral core that Forrest Gump has.
very much so. So that's the kind of episode we're looking at. He just by circumstance runs into all these different people. We get to meet Egg, this poor kid that looks very sickly, but I was seriously watching him going, I hope this kid really isn't sickly, and I hope he's like fully healthy in real life, because I had to reassure myself, like, I hope this kid didn't go through an ordeal, like, filming this, which they never would have allowed, but I couldn't help but think about it. But I like the kid. He's not annoying, which is always a victory.
Well, and again, I actually think they've cast fairly well. Now, the actor who plays Sir Duncan the Tall, Peter Claffey, is a former professional rugby player.
Well, if he's an
Irish actor and former rugby union player.
Sorry. He acts very well. I have to say, I was thinking about it because, all right, so you have to cast someone who has a massive frame.
Yep.
But that automatically limits you to the possibilities of who you can cast. And that makes the talent pool that much smaller.
Sure.
The opportunity to find the talent that you need that much smaller. And I'm watching him. He goes to see the gentleman who's in charge of the tourney.
Yes.
And he walks through the door and he bumps his head on the door frame because he's so tall. Funny, cute. I didn't eye roll. That's the other part. Like, it's an obvious gag, but it wasn't.
It's kind of part of his character.
Yeah.
As a young man, particularly as he was up and growing, like, he had a nickname, Dunc the Lunk. Right?
Yes.
If you read any of the novellas, Dunc the Lunk, thick as a castle wall, was something that was said. I'm sure that's going to come up at some point in the series.
Gonna have to.
Because people do underestimate his intelligence. He's more naive than he is dumb and more uneducated. He's not a stupid character. He doesn't lack he's not Tyrion Lannister, but he's naive and he's not very educated. Quiet. He has learned a little bit of that. Yes.
Better be quiet and assumed intelligent rather than loud and a revealed idiot.
Yeah, I believe it was Lincoln who said it's better to be silent and be thought an idiot than to open your mouth and remove all doubt, which is
I like mine.
Good a line as any.
I like mine better. No, I don't like mine at all. I like Lincoln. Lincoln did it better. That's what I was trying to draw from.
Quite humorous as well.
Yes.
But I mean, this guy's a big guy. He's 6'5", this actor. Now, Duncan the Tall is supposed to be near 7 feet in the novellas. But again, kind of like trying to find your correct Jack Reacher. Alan Ritchson is like 6'2" or 6'3", but Jack Reacher's supposed to be like 6'6". Like,
yeah,
you're right. It's going to shrink the pool. If you got somebody who's at least believable,
you can work around it.
Yeah, and you can cast shorter actors if you need to for this too.
Yeah. Yes. So anyway, I really liked this actor. I thought he was great.
Yep.
He showed a lot of heart at the very beginning by burying his, I don't know, what do you call him? His lord, his
mentor,
knight, his mentor. Yeah, let's do that.
He was the squire to Sir Arlen of Pennytree, and basically the series opens with Sir Arlen's death, and you learn kind of about Sir Arlen through flashbacks and whatnot in the novellas as well as in this book. In the show, it's sometimes to some more comedic effect too. But this kid's got heart, and he's like, the first thing he says is, "I don't know what is it? I don't know the proper words."
Yeah. And he said, he didn't say priest, but he said there needs to be a priest here to properly do this.
A septon.
You
which
read the
is
book.
the priest. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I took it as the context would be a priest. So, but yeah, he's suddenly without a mentor. He's on his own. He's got 3 horses that if he sold them, he could live like a king eat like a king for a year and a half. But he sees how short-sighted that is.
Yep.
So he doesn't want to do that. And he's just directionless. So he rides the river of life, much like.
So one of the things I really like is where he's sitting here and he's like, "I'd leave you your sword, but it would just rust."
Mm-hmm.
He understands that, a proper knight is supposed to be buried with their sword, but he can't afford to do that.
No.
He kind of understands his situation to a degree. He's like, you never hit me lest I deserved it. Except for one time.
Except for one time.
One time. But you can tell that because in the stories, Dunc is this kid, this orphan from Flea Bottom, which is the part of, King's Landing. That's like the poor section of King's Landing. It's where Davos grew up. It's where Gendry grew up. These, people from low birth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sir Arlen rescued him, so to speak, picked him up and tried to teach him the ways. Was he always the best? It's kind of up to your interpretation. The novellas kind of, I think, give you a little bit more of a positive view than what I've seen here. But again, clearly there's enough that Dunc learns and feels that he's seen from Sir Arlen to believe that he was a real knight, a man who did try to serve with honor and whatnot. So tough but fair, maybe, could be what his thoughts are, But he's clearly broken up with him, broken up about it. The closest thing he's had to family. But he's aware enough of his own situation that he knows he needs to hold on to the good sword. He knows he's got to hold on to the horses. Because if he's going to have a chance to be a knight, to, change his circumstances, he's got to hold on to these items.
Yeah. I mean, the overall plot isn't very complicated either. I mean, we're talking about character virtues here, which is really, the main observation. But it's really, he buries his mentor. he goes to an inn. He finds out there's a tournament, and he meets Egghead, or what was it? Egg. Sorry,
just egg.
I don't even think he said egg in the first episode.
He does.
Does he? Okay, so
when they meet up again at the tourney.
Okay. So I kind of had it on. I had one eye on it because I had it while I was on in the background while I was working. I realized that I could do that because this plot line, which really wasn't much. It was just him. Anyway, he finds out about the tourney. He goes to the tournament and he wants to get involved, and he meets some friends there. It's not a king. There's a lord there.
It's Lionel Baratheon.
Okay.
The Laughing Storm. He's, I think, Robert Baratheon's great grandfather.
Yeah.
So he's an ancestor of King Robert Baratheon from season 1 of Game of Thrones, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's called the Laughing Storm. And I got to tell you, Lionel Baratheon was a phenomenal character. It was just so entertaining, so borderline unhinged, but like the moments he and Dunc had in the tent were fantastic.
I'll find
going borderline from where
right here.
You're worried that he's going to have
off
Dunc
his rear end.
Oh my God! Yes.
And Dunk's wearing the crown that he was wearing earlier.
The horn, the crown of antlers.
I gotta say, I was unprepared for him. Okay. What was the first thing I said to you when you asked if we could do this?
I think it was why.
It wasn't that. It was in the same vein though. I was like, my thing was I wasn't really interested because the universe of Game of Thrones is such a brutal world, and I don't think I can go through that again. And you were like, give this one a shot. And we did review the trailer a few weeks back or a couple months back, which I did notice had heavy comedic elements in it. So I'm like, okay. But I will say this. Because it's Game of Thrones in that world, I am on pins and needles for Sir Dunc every time he meets someone new who's in power.
Yes.
Because I'm immediately like,
kind of how you're supposed to feel.
Like,
exactly.
Like, they did it with the guy who's in charge of the tourney. They did it with Baratheon here. Like, they come off as very gruff and aggressive, like, and threatening in very terrible ways.
Sure.
And then they just flip a switch, and they're like, "I'm just kidding. It's fine.
Well,
you're fine."
Lionel Baratheon was diffused by the fact that Dunc said, he's like, "Why the fuck are you in my tent? You don't bring me anything. Why are you in my tent?" For food. He's like, "That's a really good answer." Okay.
Yeah.
that is like a straight up honest answer. And that's what Lionel Baratheon likes about Dunc. There's no guile. Dunk's not really there to like kiss his ass. He's just there to experience things, and sure, he wants some food. So then comes the dance scene, which really was kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Where Lionel's like, okay, I'm going to push this guy and see what I can get away with.
Yeah.
And Dunk's like, oh, so you're going to keep trying to step on my foot? Screw you. I've got bigger feet.
Oh, here it is.
And it kind of turns into this crazy dance fight. And it's like a game of chicken. And when Dunc kind of pushes back, he's like, I like this guy. He's not kissing my ass.
Yeah.
And the look, he's got the interview with there was an interview with the actor, Daniel Ings, and he said that the script for the character is a cross between Jack Sparrow and Ernest Hemingway. And I am so here for that.
Oh.
Yes.
Both got really drunk.
Yes. as did the Laughing Storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a fantastic nickname, and it's like one of the best nicknames in the entire Game of Thrones universe, in my opinion.
I will say I wouldn't mind that mantle, that's for sure.
Because he's a little unhinged and he has a tendency to laugh, like where you don't know if he's gonna like throw a punch or toast you.
Right.
Because the Baratheons, Robert Baratheon, they're supposed to be a relatively passionate, charismatic, and hot-headed group of people from an area known as the Stormlands, where there's a lot of bad weather along the coast, and kind of a tough, hard-nosed people that love to throw down. Their lords, the Baratheons, are like the epitome of that.
You can just say County Cork, Ireland. It's fine.
Yeah.
Might
They
as
like
well.
to throw down. Yeah. So you got this guy. And of course, Baratheons are also supposed to be big. So if Dunc is supposed to be almost 7 feet, that makes Lionel Baratheon like 6'5", 6'6". Like that was Robert Baratheon was supposed to be a big man in Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
So like just think of a 7-footer and a 6.5-footer right here doing a fucking slam dance in the middle of this tent.
Yeah.
And then they go into this super philosophical conversation, which is really kind of deep, and you actually have like a moment of real honesty.
Yeah. I mean,
what chance do I have? No chance at all. But there's honor in fight. But it's an honor. It's honor and glory to be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight a worthy foe.
That makes sense, and I think that's a good answer.
All right, I'm super drunk. I'm out.
Yeah. How do I do this? I don't know. I'm very drunk right now. Like, okay. So, and at the end, and then Sir Dunc, he leaves the tent. He goes to his little campsite, and that's where Egg is. And
the stable boy, right?
The stable boy at the inn,
who was kind of mouthy to him. And then he follows this guy for like half a day's journey, right?
Yeah.
And he shows up and like, here he is. He's cooking a fish over his fire. It's like, I've cleaned your horses. I got some food. It's like, let me squire for you. He's like, but then you get to see Dunc go, okay, this is kind of how you get the realization, like, this is what happened to me.
Right. You saw that all in his eyes.
Yeah.
You saw it all in his eyes.
Yeah. He's like, you're not going to live well, but you'll
have clothes.
They'll be rough, but you'll have food. We'll have clothes. This is what you'll get if you squire for me. But every so often, Egg will throw in these little digs like, I would have put up your pavilion, but you don't have one.
And then I like the end where Egg talks about shooting stars and what is it? A good luck or a good wish?
Good fortune, I believe.
Good fortune. And Sir Dunc and Egg points out that everyone else at this tourney is in their own pavilions, staring up the silk ceilings, and they're missing the shooting star.
Right.
And that's when Sir Dunc goes, so you're saying there's a chance? But he didn't say it like that, but there was a bit of awe and wonder, like, oh, perhaps there is a little bit of hope ahead of us. Yeah. And Egg turns over on his side. We see him smile coyly, like, he gets it, and then fade out.
Now there's some other things going on here that we do kind of have to, acknowledge. And any knight can make another knight, but there's supposed to be witnesses. Dunc is trying to find people who would witness that Sir Arlen was a true knight, so that would then make him, oh, well, if you know Sir Arlen and Sir Arlen was a true knight and I was a squire, he knighted me so that Dunc can then enter the roles. And that was kind of the discussion he had with the tourney overseer.
Yes.
And he keeps trying to talk to a Lord Dondarrion, who
I'll never get these
clearly
names,
isn't an ancestor of Beric Dondarrion, the man with the flaming sword from, the series of Game of Thrones.
Never
Names
would have caught that.
Cycles back, right? People who cycle back, like these names, right? But Lord Dondarrion, whose father, Sir Arlen, served years before and taken a wound. And this guy, apparently he's just a drunken whoremonger. And like he has more conversations with the prostitutes that this guy brings around.
They prefer Lady of the Night monger, BT.
Considering how many times they use the term whore in in Game of Thrones, I don't think it's really a thing. But he's clearly a man who loves the company of alcohol and women.
Who doesn't? Right?
But he's trying to talk to this guy. Like it's actually the ladies outside the tent who kind of give you a quick, funny little explanation of what a hedge knight is. He's kind of like a knight, only sadder.
Yeah. That's true. He did have a couple interactions with some of the lady companions whose companionship could be purchased for a certain fee.
I'm sure, yeah.
And they were kind of, I wouldn't say mean to him, but at one point he does, you make fun of me, or you
mock me.
You mock me.
Do you have to mock me? It's like,
yeah, do you have to mock me?
I'm just asking some questions.
Yeah.
And
see, this
a couple of them are like, yeah, and that's Lord Dondarrion right there.
Yeah.
The guy who he's trying to get vouch for his mentor so he can then do the tournament.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling it's going to happen. Maybe not with this guy, but maybe with someone else, but it's going to happen. I have a feeling. These ladies.
Yeah.
I found them to be interesting. First of all, it looked cold filming this scene, and I got to give it to the actresses. Like they handled this like champs. Their shoulders are pretty bare. There's not a lot of insulation with the costumes.
The one on the right
wearing.
Definitely looks cold. The one on the left is, I think, maybe hiding it better.
She might be drunk in real life.
Needless to say, there's a lot going on here that this is not the heavy world building that Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon was, like the implications of kingdoms and prophecies.
No, it is not. And you are.
This is really just one man's quest to find his way in the world.
And it's a very street level situation.
This is Game of Thrones lower decks.
I would say Spider-Man. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, MCU.
He is a little friendly neighborhood Spider Knight.
Yeah. I will say this, if I could. This has been a trend that's been first of all, I enjoy the episode. I fully recommend it. We'll give our ratings later, but there has been a trend as of like 2018 where I don't know why, but for some reason, all of these TV shows now, these prestige shows, they like to show man ass. And I'm tired of that.
Maybe because they spent so much time showing so much of the women.
Not even the ladies want to see the man ass, though. Ladies, even the straight ones, are more open to seeing the lady derriere than they are the man ass.
Well, let's just be lucky that this guy's in good shape. Okay, he's not shredded, but this is a clearly a former pro athlete. He's a big dude in shape. Let's give the man credit. If that's his real ass, all the power to him for being willing to show it, I guess.
But it's unnecessary to show it. We got to see a comedic moment where he had a very tender memory, and then snap cut to him defecating off a tree.
Yeah,
and we got to see a lot of that. That was for comedic shock value.
I think the craziest part about it is you're building and you're starting to hear the Game of Thrones theme as he's like thinking about becoming a true and virtuous knight. And then
that's what happened.
I think it's the whole gravity of the situation hits him, and it turns his gut. It churns his guts. He's like, "Oh,
no,
what did I get myself into?"
All I'm saying is, I could do.
Apparently, George R.R. Martin was a little perplexed by that scene too.
I could do with less man ass in my television. In Starfleet Academy, all you saw were beefcakes, and all the ladies in Starfleet Academy, they were all like fully covered, like, nothing exotic. Like, no. You can't just like slide the whole scale to the opposite direction. You can't do that. Like,
they did.
I know, and I don't like it.
But in fairness, you got man ass, but you did get boobs. For a brief minute.
I didn't see that.
Very briefly.
Was it in this episode? When
he went into the tent and they had the girl that they were making look like she was dead.
I totally missed that. See, that's the thing. It's a blink and you'll miss it kind of thing. But I got to see the man ass. That was good.
Dude, I think you're leaning too heavily into it.
I'm not even asking for female nudity. I'm just saying I don't need the male nudity. Like,
fair enough. No nudity it is, but it's Game of Thrones, so something tells me, based on what I've read, it's going to probably be a lot less gratuitous. Some of the fight scenes I'm sure will
be a little brutal,
a little rough. How the novella ends, it's attorney, so there's going to be fighting. But I do expect this to be a bit less gruesome than 90% of the other two series at times. So
that's all I could ask for. I can't go through another. Who is the guy? Who is the guy that married Sansa?
Ramsay Bolton.
Oh my God, I can't go through another Ramsay Bolton situation. Feeds his baby brother to a rabid dogs, not rabid, but voracious dog. Like, I can't do that.
No. There's some dudes who show up in here who aren't really nice guys, but for the most part, and again, I've only seen the first episode, but based on what I know of the novellas, we're not going to be there the same way.
Okay, I'll take it.
And like you said, they kind of lean into a bit more of the humor, the lightness, and a little bit more of the, the regular life. As much as you can get in this crazy, messed up fantasy world.
That was one of the things I used to say. Like, I mean, my wife and I academically were talking one day about if we had to live in the Game of Thrones universe, how would we want to live? And we're like, well, I mean, it is a completely brutal world. So if you're rich, you have a target on your back. But if you're poor or some kind of business person, you're subject to the wiles and whimsies of complete sociopaths. And I mean, the baker's son in the very pilot episode of Game of Thrones,
The butcher's son.
the butcher's son. He wasn't a baker? It was a butcher? Okay.
It was the butcher's son.
Well, it wasn't the candlestick maker, that's for sure.
No, it was not.
But they killed that kid off screen. Like,
Well,
because
it's better that it was off screen.
yeah. But I did at one point say there is no justice in Westeros during the initial Game of Thrones run. And I think I even put it on Facebook. Like, there's just no justice.
Well, you want to know some good news?
What's that?
Dunc believes in justice.
Well, good. And we could all put our faith in Sir Dunc, the Cruller.
Hey, look, he's a guy who's naive, a bit, but a bit idealistic. He's raised on the stories of knighthood and what a knight is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Now these are the years between the Dance of the Dragon and the main series, right? So there's a lot of history that goes on, but there's something kind of beautiful about this.
Well, and I guess we'll have to do a season recap at the end,
Only
right?
6 episodes.
So yeah, not too much of an investment. All right, I'm in.
They're not. I guess they're all supposed to be a little over 30 minutes total.
Even this one at like 44 minutes, you could chop off a good 8 minutes from that, which was just advertisements and recaps and behind the scenes stuff. So,
I mean, yeah, I didn't feel like there was any pacing issues. I enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed it. It's a little more immersive, a little more. It was. I just enjoyed it.
yeah.
That's really what it was. Like it was like, okay, I've read the novella, so I know this chunk of this novella is not the gory, bloody parts. Like, oh, like who's going to be like stabbed with a crossbow through the eye?
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, there's
It's who will have a hematoma or an egg on their head. Not egg, but may that poor child get his chemotherapy. Good Lord.
Come on, man, don't go there.
That's what they were going for. Sickly kid. I mean, he's a great actor, and I saw him without his makeup. They did a very good job.
Reason why the character of Egg looks like that.
Okay. Well, then I will stop commenting on it, because then I'm going to probably be an asshole later. So
the kid's 11 years old. Quite good.
He's very good. I'm not commenting on the kid itself. I'm commenting on the character.
The character's
like heavily made up.
Yes, but there's reasons for that.
Fine, and we'll go with that. No, but the kid actually, very healthy looking kid from IMDb. Just FYI. All right.
I think because you don't know these stories, I think you might really enjoy this. Just because it's going to be it's a different slice of Westeros.
I mean, if we're looking at a good hero's journey, even on the street level in Westeros, I'm all for it. I'm all for a good little hero's journey. It doesn't have to be, world at stake kind of thing. It could be just a good journey, learning how to forge your own metal, so to speak. Those are all great. That, like Rudy, a good Rudy journey. Oh, actually, I did want to mention the music was really good. And also, I've noticed that the music itself is kind of a throwback to a different time, where
it's a little lighter too.
It was orchestral, which you don't hear very much. It's usually just ominous tones that you hear in television now. Like they don't have like orchestral, pieces.
It's got some flourish of Lord of the Rings from 20 years ago.
Well, I mentioned Rudy because there's a part in it where it actually sounds like they're playing a part of Rudy. I can't.
Oh
tell
yeah,
you
I heard
part.
the Notre Dame theme song. Dun, dun,
No.
oh.
No. That. But there, and then there was also another part where it sounded like. Oh man, I should have written it down. It's because it would mean something, and if the composer did in fact reference the orchestral arrangement for Rudy and this other piece, it would have had meaning for the actual show. I forget though. I forget. I'll have to find out, and I'll have to mention it to you and then to our audience, which means I'm going to have to freaking rewatch the whole thing again. But oh, Rainbow Connection. It sounded like they were playing Rainbow Connection.
Well, I mean,
the lovers, the dreamers. It's all about your dreams, following your dreams, forging your own way. So you got Rudy and Rainbow Connection. Those are pretty aligned themes that you got here. So it'll be interesting.
And who doesn't love Jim Henson?
That was.
I mean, there were puppets in this.
There were, actually. I was like, wow, they have a dragon? Oh no, that's a puppet. That was a good puppet. So
yeah, pay attention to the puppet show. That's going to come back.
Okay. No, Rainbow Connection was a song I sang to my son when he was a baby to help him go to sleep. So
it's a beautiful song.
It's a very good song.
Oscar nominated.
Yeah, but not a winner, which is a travesty.
No. But the one from the 2011 Muppet movie, that won the Oscar.
Yes, which I still haven't seen that damn movie. I really need to see it.
It's fun.
I know. I started watching it, then my cable went out. I'm like, really? Okay.
Let me tell you, this show I've been waiting for as much as any show in 2026. Okay. Because I did enjoy the novellas, and the fact that they're now going to be doing this and House of the Dragon kind of alternating also helps you not feel like you're getting hosed as hard by the wait for Westeros.
Yeah. I will say it, considering how Game of Thrones ended, a lot of people were disappointed with it. HBO has been able to pivot pretty effectively in keeping people pinned to this world with House of the Dragon and then A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And I'm sure they've got a couple other projects on the...
Because they chose to do House of the Dragon on the Dance of the Dragon, you actually have the one story that George R.R. Martin completed.
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms was like 3 novellas. Apparently there was plans for more. But again, they're little vignettes, like little short stories. So the characters of Dunc and Egg have a long history, and get mentioned at different points later on. But they do, I think there was only 3 novellas. So they've already renewed this for season 2, which will cover the next novella. I mean, if they do 3 seasons and that's it, fine. If they play off of some of, because they've hinted at certain things in other, like in the novellas that Dunc and Egg did on like other quests. If they get greedy, if this goes well, and you could see them try to pull stuff and like say, "Hey, George, give us, what your ideas were for this," which he might go, "Oh, millions? Okay."
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Could
he
be.
just needs to hire a ghostwriter, man. Just freaking follow through on it, and he can edit it. He can put his own flourish on it. Anyway,
like House of the Dragon is literally like a chunk of the first half of Fire and Blood, which was supposed to be a duology. He hasn't finished part 2 yet of Fire and Blood. But the Dance of the Dragon part that is basically the House of the Dragon, he did finish that. So at least we'll get that.
Oh, good Lord.
And if they only decide to do 3 seasons on the Dunc and Egg novellas, then it should, and if they continues to go the way it's looking, then we're in good shape with that, at least.
Yeah.
It's already been renewed for season 2, which will also be, I believe, 6 episodes, excuse me. But right now, the Rotten Tomatoes critical review is at 95%.
Okay. Well, I can agree with that. And shall we end on our own ratings?
Yeah.
So
always.
I really appreciate you forcing me into this. It happens more often than I care to admit. Every now and then we'll get a sinners though, and I'll be very mad. But this was delightful.
Look, I get that. It happens. Every now and then you have me do a space Nazi movie. Just remember that.
Hold on. I didn't have you do that. I told you would hate it and that this is not for you. And I never would have brought it up. I thought it would have been fun for these sci-fi guys. And I gave you every out on the way through. So that being said, this is a solid A+ for me. A very rare A+.
Yeah, I'll go with you on that. Because I really I enjoyed it. It felt like putting on a comfortable pair of slippers to a degree. Because like I said, it's the familiar world of Westeros. But it's almost like if you've ever put your slippers like over near the fireplace and then put them on.
Yes.
That's the difference. Watching Game of Thrones is like putting on your favorite slippers, but they're soaked in blood.
Yeah, that's
as much as I enjoyed that show.
It
was like putting them in, like, or putting on a sweatshirt fresh from the dryer.
I mean, I will say, Game of Thrones, episode 9 of every season always left after season 1, and what happened in episode 9 of season 1, and then seeing what happened in season 2, and then season 3. I'm like, okay, this is it got worse.
Enough is enough.
More brutal. It really was like. When was the Red Wedding? Season 2?
Yeah. No, season 3.
Season 3. And then the Purple Wedding was season 4, right?
Yeah. That was an episode.
But that was not a penultimate episode.
No, episode 9, I think, was Tyrion's trial by combat.
Yes. Yes, and the mountain. And
And that's why Pedro Pascal became the Mandalorian and never takes off his helmet.
The poor Bud Light night. that was a weird advertising turn. Let me just say
The Bud Knight.
Yeah, the Bud Knight. I mean, battling the mountain, like that was very peculiar. I don't know why they decided to do that mashup like that. I mean, well, anyway, because Game of Thrones is always more ruthless. All right, so on that,
that is definitely true.
Yes. So on that note, I think we'll finish out the season. We'll do a season recap.
I think that's good.
And then until the next time, I think we're all set. You guys keep dreaming. We'll keep working. I'm P.S. McKay. So long, everybody.
I'm DT Cavman. I'm stepping on your line. From the high ground, I see the sun rising in Westeros.
Mack's got a pen that can warp the stars. DT's got stories from cavalry scars. One writes the worlds where the heroes fly, the other old tanks under desert sky. From sandbox forts to the final frontier, 2 kids with dreams and a 6-pack of beer. Different roads, same old spark. Talking Trek till the streetlights spark. We read those sci-fi guys riding warp speed waves. Mack and DT Cannon lighting up the airwaves. Blasters of books, we're geek to the core. Laughing through the lore on those sci-fi guys. Mack spins a tale about a rogue AI. DT counters with, man, I drove that guy. From doom to doom, we argue the stakes while the coffee gets cold and the pizza box breaks. Childhood pals in a grown-up fight for the best damn death scene on a Friday night. Pixels or pages, we're never done. 2 working stiffs chasing alien sun. We're in those sci-fi guys riding warp speed waves. Mack and DT Cabin lighting up the airwaves. Blasters or books, we're geek to the core. Laughing through the lore on those sci-fi guys. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, yeah. No capes, no powers, just regular days. But we'll save the galaxy in our own ways. Mack's drafting novels in the dead of night. DT's got tank tracks, turns them into light. Together we're louder than a hyperdrive screen. 2 regular dudes living the sci-fi dream. Yeah, yeah, we're with those sci-fi guys riding warp speed waves. Mack and DT Cabin lighting up the airwaves. From the sandbox to the stars, we'll never say die. Tune in, geek out, those sci-fi guys. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Next week, Blade Runners or replicants? Bring the Bourbon Rider boys, gonna get real.